صل وسلم وبارك عليك سيدي يا رسول الله. So are you guys awake for today's leader that we are going to talk about? I heard the food was good, was delicious, mashallah. So lots of people thinking of sleeping. What do you think? You want to sleep? Huh? Afterwards, after the Tarawih. So actually, I will talk today about one of the great leaders in Islam. He has a very great contribution till today. Very well known. The only thing that was preventing, or I was thinking twice about talking about him in a very short time, because the time will not be sufficient to talk about him. And I will do injustice for his biography if I talk about him just in 10 minutes. So if you guys have time, my brother Rizwan can watch the time for 1 hour. When I get to 1 hour, tell me to stop, okay? Okay, he has the clock. Okay, so we will talk actually about Imam al-Bukhari. Who is Imam al-Bukhari? I am pretty sure that you have heard that name before. You will find that Imams will say, this hadith is mentioned in al-Bukhari, authenticated by al-Bukhari, Sahih al-Bukhari. Lots of people know that name, but that's actually not his real name. His real name is Muhammad ibn Ismail al-Bukhari. That's the very short name, so you can memorize it, inshallah. Muhammad ibn Ismail al-Bukhari. If you wanted the full name, Muhammad ibn Ismail ibn Ibrahim ibn al-Mughira al-Bukhari. So his grandfather al-Mughira accepted Islam during the time of the Sahaba. When the Sahaba went with the expansion of the Islam till the land of, it's called the Khurasan. And the Khurasan actually, it covers Afghanistan, Iran, and all this area, Uzbekistan. So they went there and he accepted Islam, al-Mughira. Then al-Mughira got Ibrahim. Then Ibrahim got Ismail. And Ismail actually wasn't a scholar. He wasn't a scholar. He was a man who is studying a little bit of hadith. But he wasn't that deeper into the knowledge. And he was a trader actually. And Allah granted him Muhammad. Muhammad is Imam al-Bukhari. He born in the year 194 Hijri. Year 194 Hijri. Be aware of the numbers because it might come to the Islamic knowledge competition. That might be a question. Who knows? Okay, I will not tell you the questions in advance. But who knows? That could be a question. So what's the year? 194. Brother Muhammad. 94. Okay? Brother Islam. Okay, so Imam al-Bukhari actually, he was genius, intelligent. Allah had granted him something, it's very rare to happen. Nowadays, we define it as he got the photographic memory. By the age of 8, he memorized the entire Quran. I will give you just some numbers today. Really, it will shock you. But there is something about his father. His father passed away when he was barely like 2 years old. His mother was so religious. She wasn't alima, she wasn't a scholar, but she was so religious. And what lots of people don't know about Imam al-Bukhari, he became blind when he was 3 years old. And he stayed blind for 2 years. His mother, when her son became blind, she made an oath to Allah that she is going to pray every night tahajjud to make dua for her child. For 2 years, she never missed one day making tahajjud to make dua for her son. And after 2 years, she have seen dream. Who was in the dream? Sayyidina Ibrahim, the Prophet of Allah. He said to her, because of your dua, Allah accepted and Allah restored the eyesight of your son. She woke up, she checked her son, and she found the miracle that happened. And the scholar said, maybe from that moment, Allah had blessed him and He gave him that photographic memory. Whenever he sees something, he memorizes it. Look to one page, he memorizes it like at once. And subhanAllah, when he reached to the age of 12, you know how many hadith that he memorized at the age of 12? 7,000 hadith. 7,000 hadith. Imam al-Bukhari, I will try to make things quickly. By the age of 16, his mother and his older brother went to Mecca to do Hajj. They stayed sometimes in Mecca, but when they wanted to go back, Imam al-Bukhari didn't want to go back. Because his area, Bukhara, Uzbekistan, we could say, and actually he used to talk Persian. Arabic wasn't his mother tongue. Yes, he mastered the Arabic language afterwards, but his mother tongue, he was Persian. And you know what? Imam al-Bukhari, he mastered the knowledge of his city. So he couldn't find anyone even higher than him to give him knowledge. By the age of 16. Now when he went to Mecca, he found lots of people having too much of knowledge. So he wanted to squeeze every drop of their knowledge. So he said to his mother and his brother, I will not go back, I will stay here in Mecca and Medina to get knowledge. He stayed from the age of 16 to the age of 18. He wrote his first book. That book, till today, 2024, it's the main source for all Imams and scholars of Islam in the branch of Hadith. It's the main source. By the age of 18, he wrote a book. It is called the Ilm al-Rijal, the Science of Men, in 9 volumes, thick ones, big book of Hadith. It's called the Ilm al-Rijal. And by the way, it's very expensive nowadays, especially if you wanted to get it in English. It's called the Ilm al-Rijal for Imam al-Bukhari. He's talking about all the narrators of the Hadith. He mentioned their biography, when they traveled, where they met, who they met, what did they make, when did they board. He's talking about lots of things related to the Hadith. But I'm talking more about his journey actually. After he stayed sometime in Mecca, he went to Iraq. And in Iraq, he met Imam Ahmed ibn Hanbal. Imam Ahmed ibn Hanbal said a very fantastic statement. He said, there is no one I have ever met from the area of Khurasan is more knowledgeable than Imam al-Bukhari. Imam al-Bukhari at that time was 21 years old. Imam Ahmed ibn Hanbal was 70 something. So at that time to say that statement about a young man like Imam al-Bukhari, it was really, really fabulous. And you know what? He, like legendary memory, made lots of people. He was alim, he was a scholar and all of this. But you know what? It made some of people in Iraq to get jealous at him. Sometimes if you are unique or someone who is so special, still you have people who have jealousy against you. So they tried to test him, make test after test, test after test. And sometimes they do like false claims, allegations against Imam al-Bukhari. Very quickly, one of those tests, they brought 10 scholars. Each scholar said, I will give 10 hadith for you. So 10 multiplied by 10, so how much we have? 100 hadith. So those scholars had mixed the hadith, the chain of the narration and the text of the hadith. They mixed the chain of the narration with different texts of the hadith. They give him 100 hadith are mixed. Then they told him, do you know any of these hadith? He said, no, I don't know. I don't know them. So the students got shocked. very simple ahadith and you do not know them? He said, yeah, I don't know them because all of you guys had made mistakes. You mixed the chain of the transmissions. And he started to recite back to them what the mistakes that they have made, plus what is the correct chain of the transmission of each and every hadith of the 100 ones. Think about this, subhanallah. Imam al-Bukhari, his shaykh, told him one day, I hope if somebody could do something to collect only the authentic ahadith and filter those ahadith. So he put some criteria upon himself to filter all the ahadith. Let me surprise you. You know how many ahadith Imam al-Bukhari in total, how many ahadith he memorized? Just give number. Quickly, because of the time. 10,000. 10,000. Huh? 7,000. 7,000. 200. Huh? 200,000. Huh? 60,000 hadith. He memorized 60,000 hadith. Then he filtered them based on his conditions, strict conditions, and he put in his book 7,225 hadith. Not only this, he wrote his book Sahih al-Bukhari in 16 years. 5 years in Iraq, and the rest of those years in Al-Madinah. Listen, this is the most beautiful part of the story. He said, I never agreed on any hadith except that I go to the Rawdah of Rasulullah. You know Rawdah? May Allah let us all enter Rawdah. Say Ameen. Except that I go to the Rawdah, I pray 2 rak'ahs istikhara before I choose the hadith. So 7,225, that means he prayed 14,000, right? 14,550 rak'ahs to choose the hadith that before he agrees on choosing this hadith in his book Sahih al-Bukhari. Then you have today 450, right? Okay, mashallah. You see, pick the flaws of the Imam. Inshallah. Okay, that's good. I agree. You know what? Imagine after all of this, you might have somebody who's still here, he doesn't know how to read Al-Fatiha with proper tajweed. He will tell you, you know what, I don't like Imam al-Bukhari. I don't agree on his ahadith. So who are you? Who are you before you criticize Imam al-Bukhari? Imam al-Bukhari collected the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Very quickly, how Imam al-Bukhari passed away? He returned it. Yes. Yes. Imam al-Bukhari used to love, riding horses. And he got sick one day and his hip got broken. But that's not the main thing. Actually, he returned it to his city. And the governor of his city have heard about Imam al-Bukhari returned it back. And you know what? As a governor, he wanted to use his authority to force Imam al-Bukhari to teach his children privately. He thought that he can buy him with his money. He said, I don't need you, I don't need your money, take it. This ilm is for Allah. We do not sell it for somebody. So the governor told him, I will expel you or I will prison you. He was on the day of Eid and he decided to leave his city. And before leaving, he made a dua to Allah. He said, oh Allah, your land is so expanding, it's so vast. But for me, it seems it became so tight. So, oh Allah, if you know that taking my soul is better, oh Allah, I ask you to take my soul if it is better for me. That was his dua, and Allah accepted his dua, and he died on the day of Eid. That was the end of Imam al-Bukhari. Actually, his life is full of the good things. I am still did injustice for his biography, because there are lots of things in between about the Imam al-Bukhari. May Allah shower him with his mercy. Allahumma ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put all what he did in his records till today, until the day of judgment. People are going to get from the hadith that Imam al-Bukhari had collected. My brothers and sisters, Jazakumullah khairan for listening and for having patience. Actually, before we go, we want to make many du'as, inshallah, for our brothers and sisters. There is a sister who asked Brother Jihad to make a dua, and she's going to have a surgery. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant her shifa. Allahumma ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. Also the wife of our brother Izzuddin, she's in the hospital. May Allah give her shifa. Ya Rabbil Alameen. We have Brother Wesley also, who is having a little bit of flu. May Allah give him shifa. Allahumma ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. Jazakumullah khairan. Barakallahu feekum. Let's continue our salah inshallah.